Hi guys, welcome to my weekly Facebook Live show. I'm Jen Burson. This is Lola. I think you can see her. Lola, look. I froze a bone full of peanut butter in the hopes that I get half an hour to chat with you guys today because she's been very needy. Welcome. I literally just ran up the stairs so that I could meet you here for showtime. Here you go, baby. How are you telling me you don't want that? Here. Yummy. Okay, cool. I'm all checked in now. Hi. Anyone who's here, live or watching a replay, just let me know who's here. I love to chat. I have so many of you that come and meet me here every week, and I'm so grateful for that. Getting rid of the peanut butter evidence. Okay, cool. You guys are finding me. So I'm the founder of Generation PR. Hi, Nicole. Nelson, Serena, hi. Nicole, it's been way too long. So nice to see you. I'm so glad you could, find your way here today. I want to hear that. It sounds like a World War I, like fighter plane. Oh, actually, it is kind of an odd little plane. Anyway, so I run a PR agency. Doing that, it's a thing, right? And I say that because I'm here to support you all in creating businesses you love, running agencies around the kind of life you want to have, and working really hard to come up with the current and also forward-looking trends and things that are changing in our industry. And what I love is that I'm able to connect with people like you and those that I know are on here that are also, kind of moving into this new paradigm of running our own businesses on our terms, being in charge of the kind of businesses that we want to run and working with the clients that we love and that light us up. And we are always striving to develop the most up-to-date and forward-looking training and strategies and ways to support you, to make you more money, to make you money on your terms so that you're not, working nights and weekends and making yourself totally crazy. A lot of our community are moms and dads, and we just want to give you the support that could help you build a business around the kind of life that you want to have. So I mentioned that I run an agency because I know there's other mentors out there that are like, I sold an agency 10 years ago. Let me tell you how to run an agency. And I'm sure their content is great, but I'm in it. I'm in the weeds. It's like most of my time is running Generation PR. So just know that the things that we talk about and that we share are not just like theory or what used to work or what worked back when I started. It's what we're doing now. And so that's my agency side, Generation PR. We work with brands, particularly baby and kids, beauty and cosmetics, and other lifestyle brands. I've been running that for 17 years and then started on this coaching and educational side because there wasn't anything like it. There weren't any PR pros that were these boutique owners that were having a similar experience to me, or at least wanted to connect with people like me. And wow, like I kind of thought there would be people out there that would want this community and the kind of support that I thought would be helpful to kind of skyrocket results. And I'm so grateful that all of you have found me. So, we're here to support you. And a week from today, I have a big announcement that I'm sharing, and I'm not, I don't want to position it in a way where it's like big news and it's like big news for me and you're like, who cares? It's big news and something that I did in this business, but the goal is that it will be more for you, more support, more community, more coaching, more accountability, more programs and training and education to meet you exactly where you are with exactly what you need. We have planted our flag. We're planting it in a big way. And a week from today, we'll announce like what we're sharing, the news we're sharing, and what it means for you. So I don't want to be like, this is exciting news. And it's like, well, Jen, that's exciting for you. You know, when people are like, exciting news, we launched a new website. And it's like, why do I care that you launched a website? I don't want to be like disingenuous like that. The exciting news is we believe, hi, Brianna, we believe that we are making big moves to empower you more. That's the goal. So next week, Thursday, I'm going to share what that is, what that looks like, what that means for now, and what that means for the future, because I got big vision. Oh my gosh. And speaking of big vision, I just won an award. What is it? Like PR week or Reagan's, in the visionary category, which is so funny because my husband is like a visionary. Like, I get that you're creative and you're thinking big, but he thinks the word visionary is kind of like blowhardy. So listen, I didn't pick it. They, gave me that designation, which is super cool. And I think the timing is really fun because this is like a big vision I have. And so to be designated by our peers as a visionary is pretty cool. And it's cool timing. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Next week, big announcement. If you come to the live, you will kind of hear it before everyone else because we're issuing a press release. So join me next week and I'll share big news, and I hopefully will tie it back into how it impacts you and your business. Okay, so enough about that. Thank you all so much for being here. References. Let me know. Give me like a thumbs up because you agree, or like, and heart or whatever. If you get frustrated or like a little bit nervous, or it feels somewhat stressful when a prospective client is like, we really liked your presentation, we enjoyed our conversation, our proposal, we're ready to kind of make a decision, we'd love some references. Let me know. Does that make you go because sometimes I'm like, what does that mean? This was based on a discussion inside our Facebook group, Profitable PR Pros, which you should be inside that community. It's free. It's freaking awesome. Let me see if I can just link you out here. If you're not in it, Nelson welcomes references. So it's that's our community there, and we always pull topics based on what the community asks. So, if you have your clients, like brands or experts, looking and vetting your agency for services, it's probably not going to be out of the realm of things they're going to ask for references. And let's talk about what they are. But it's a little bit overwhelming if you haven't thought about references before, but when you get prepared and you do a little bit of the legwork up front, so you're not a little bit scrambling when you get asked, it'll make things easier. We're going to talk about how to get references, what to do when you have them in place, how to handle these requests if you have no way to get a reference in the moment. So a reference is usually a client that in the past or currently works with you, has worked with you in the past or works with you currently, and they'll speak to their experience working with you. Hopefully your reference will be positive, but that's up to the prospective client to decide whether it's really objective or if it's just kind of a fluff piece. Really, they're just like, yeah, they're great. They're going to want to get in and ask for specifics. What was the experience like? What were your results like? If they're not working with you, they're going to want to know why. What happened? Why are you no longer working together? And it shouldn't be scary. So I used to think about this, like some of my best references were past clients, and that would feel a little bit like a disconnect that I was referring clients that were no longer working with because they had the best results or the best things to say. And the prospective client would say, well, why are these all clients or mostly clients you worked with in the past? I also had a challenge where there was a CEO of a company that didn't want to give a reference because she felt like she was sharing her secret sauce. And she was almost like, I don't want to share you with the world. And usually the references were in the same industry. And she would say, well, these are our competitors. Why would I tell them about working with you when they're going to get access to our, strategies you've created for us? That was her thinking. And so because she, as the CEO, would not give us a reference, I thought about someone else on the team who was very generous and said, yeah, we'll do that for you. And so I felt a little awkward offering up the, head of sales instead of the CEO, because I thought that the prospective clients would say, well, why isn't the CEO giving you the reference? And the deal in that situation is that that's who we dealt with the most. That was our number one point of contact, or like a CMO, right? And sometimes CEOs cannot be bothered. So those were some of the insecurities I had. The other thing too is I never want a prospective client, because I've had some that get on and the questions are insane. They take so much of your time, and I felt like it was a major disruption to my clients and their day. And I was like, ugh, I want to respect their time, and I don't want you to bother them, basically. So this approach is in response to all of those concerns that I had, all of those things that I wanted to avoid. So if you are ready to get references now, it's better to get them when you don't need them, right? Like if you're scrambling because you're at that phase in your process with a client and you want to close that quickly, you don't want to have to wait around for somebody else to get you what you need. So if you need it right now, and you don't already have one, reach out specifically to your current clients, the ones where you have a great relationship and you've been providing exceptional service, and ask if they're open to being a reference, and see if they are comfortable with you passing along their contact information. And that's really all you have to do if it's like a need it now situation, and let them, give you, whether it's their email or they want to be texted, their preferred method of conversation, because you don't want to bother them. So you don't want to give the phone number and then have the prospective client call them if they don't want to be called. So say, here's the number for texting only, or they prefer to communicate over email. You can send them an email. And you don't have control over what they say. You don't have control over what the new client is asking for. You're just making the connection by getting permission from the client that that's okay. But moving forward, there's two options for gathering references as part of your regular service delivery, so that you have them and they are ready to go should a need arise. So the first option is whenever you're gathering testimonials for your clients, which we talked about them last live. I get so confused about where we're delivering content. So we, inside of the Agency Accelerator last week, I did a live lesson all about case studies, testimonials, how to put them, how to compile them, how to, gather all the things you need. And so gathering testimonials was a big piece of that. And part of the process as you're collecting testimonials is you can make it a standard move that you ask them if they'd be open to serving as a reference to your, a reference to prospective clients for your services. And then you'll basically have a list of clients that you have permission to share the contact info for that exact purpose. And you can even take that testimonial and say, my client has agreed that I can share this with prospective clients. Here you go. Maybe that's enough. And then you say, if you need to speak with them further, they've agreed to talk with you, and then let them know the preferred means. So that's option one, as a way to basically wrap that in to the ask. When you're asking for testimonials, say, this is so appreciated. I've loved working together. And oftentimes we get asked for references from prospective clients. I know you're really busy, but if the need arises, and it's not that often, would it be okay if I pass along your contact info? And that way you have it ready to go and you can just add them to your list. Option two is that right after you have a particularly good result, like a big win for a client, consider asking at that moment for a reference, because that's a great opportunity with like a positive feeling. Everybody's like high-fiving, yay, great result, blah, blah, blah. Privately message that client whomever is your, typical point of contact and say, I'm so happy that you're as thrilled with this result as I am. We're achieving such great results together. And then ask them, would you be comfortable, because from time to time we have a need arise, would you be comfortable with me sharing your information if a client would want to speak with you? And I will always preference to that prospective client to be respectful of your time and that you're available for no more than 15 minutes. Would that be okay? And they always say yes, right? And at that point, you also know your clients to know which ones would be like, nah, some just don't want to share you, and that's okay. You still have a business outside of them, but they don't need to know or have to give you permission for what it is you're doing. They just don't have to be a part of it, and that's okay. Find someone else. But at least that's good to go. And when the need comes up, you've got it set. And on the other side, what to do if a prospective client asks for references. If you have clients who've already agreed to be a reference, just pass that info on. And you also may want to provide case studies or press wins that are listed on your website for additional reference, or have a capabilities deck, which is essentially, Nelson has shared his corporate capabilities deck inside this program so generously. You can search his name and you will see it. And he has offered to send it to anybody who is interested. But having something like that that's evergreen and you update it all the time, that is a way also to showcase your abilities. And you can throw testimonials and case studies in there. So it comes essentially from the client. It's their results and it's their words. This is what they had to say about working with you. So you can have that ready to go. You can also have it on your website and link out to it. And you can send these things in lieu of references. If you do not have references, or if you do not want to give references, you're the boss, you don't have to. I'm always comfortable to give them unless I'm on the phone with someone and sometimes it's a little bit of that like red flaggy type, like, are they going to be annoying? Right? Like, if I'm having a hard time kind of controlling the conversation, are they going to go off and like totally annoy my clients? And if I'm not 100% sure if those red flags are like deleting, like, conversation ending red flags where I'm like, oh no, I cannot deal with you. You suck. You're going to just, take up all my time with all your questions. I kind of make those decisions before I spread them into my community. Oh, Ricky, this is a great question. She says, hi, Jen. Hi, Ricky. Keep your eyes on the mail, okay? Do you ask clients to post their review on your Google page or Facebook page, or you just ask them to email it to you? That's a really good question. I already said that's a good question. So I would probably have them start on your LinkedIn page and have them, if they want to. Or what I would do, and we talked all about it, you were there last week, about gathering testimonials, but you know the process, Ricky, because we talked about it, for asking and how to support them and make it easy for them. When they give you something back, or if you give something to them and they go, it looks good, go for it, ask them if they're willing to post it on your LinkedIn. And you can even send them a request for, what do they call it, referral or reference or something on LinkedIn. You know what I'm talking about. It's like you can give a reference to someone, or they can give it to you. So you can request it and then just tell them copy and paste it right in there, and then it'll be there. So in the first sort of outward visibility piece, I love LinkedIn. I think Google would be fantastic because that has super positive recommendation. I couldn't think of the word. This is like the challenge with my brain lately. It's like half asleep at all times. So what are you doing? Oh, you're licking the peanut butter off the thing. You can ask for a recommendation and have them post there. And then the second place I would ask is for Google, because that will have SEO value. Facebook is kind of like, no one's really going there anymore, honestly. If they do, they may see it, they may not. I would just get that content, and then you Ricky can like create social assets around it and put it out there. That's more testimonial stuff. But yeah, if you have your clients, create some kind of a recommendation, the first place I'd have them do it is take that testimonial you secured from them and ask them to post it on LinkedIn, and then have them go through your Google listing, because that'll have SEO value. Good question. I'm glad you asked that. Okay, so you don't have to share if you don't want to. You can just be like, here it is, If there's a situation like that, I would just say something like, I don't have permission to share contact info of my clients due to privacy concerns, or even you can say NDAs. But there are multiple case studies on my website that showcase the types of results that I've been able to achieve for our clients, specifically in your niche. And here are a few in particular I think would be of interest to you. And those clients have already provided feedback in the form of a recommendation or testimonial as part of that case study. So you can still see their words, you can see our results, but there's either privacy concerns or NDAs, and I want to respect my clients' wishes on that. So you can sort of get out of it that way. Like I said, in the Agency Accelerator, we share exactly how to get really good, solid testimonials that'll move the needle. Not every client's experience is the same. Not every client's outcomes would be the thing that it's like every client has a different outcome that you would want them to share about you, because it's going to move the needle on one piece of their experience working with you, or that a prospective client can see what it would be like to work with you. So like I would give an example. I have clients that would say, oh my God, their media relationships are amazing. They work so fast. And within 3 months, we had 500 million impressions in the first 3 months. That's not typical, but we did have that for one client. And so if I wanted to showcase our media relationships and that we're very nimble, and also talk about small agency versus a big agency and the kind of results you get in what time period, I would go to that client because I know they can speak specifically to that. I had another client that had a challenging product, and we came up with really cool creative ideas, and it actually landed press for them based on those ideas. And I would go to that client and say, could you speak about our strategic creativity? Hold on, this dog is digging around in the garbage. Lola! Sorry. Lola, leave it! Okay, she's coming back. The power of leave it. This is like the one thing I've trained her on. She's back. Here you go. So that's what I would think of as like each client's unique experience. Are you super responsive? And one client's always saying like, oh my God, you guys are so on top of things. Those are the things like each client can talk about they can't just say like generation's great or working with Jen and her team is great. Why? How? Where did that result come from? Is it because we're fast, because we're attentive, because we are nimble, because we came up with really creative ideas? Like, what could that client say specifically about their experience working with you? So that's what we're talking about in the Agency Accelerator. It's how to get incredible testimonials that will move the needle, they'll wow prospective clients, and it'll have them feeling like working with you is like a total no-brainer. And those can be even more powerful than references. So when they ask for references, they're going to seek out the information they're looking for. They may not even consider some of the factors that are so special about you and your team that other clients can speak to. So testimonials, we'll talk inside the accelerator all about how to get them and get really good ones, and then how to get the most out of them, leverage them in case studies, your website, social media content, all that good stuff. That comes in the fourth pillar, the scale pillar, and it's all about leveraging your results for clients to like elevate your profile as well. Okay, so some of you may not have any current clients or any wins to speak of or case studies. So what do you do in that case? Have you had any good past results, working in PR, whether it's for another agency or either in-house or as a freelancer, anything like that? If you have, reach out to previous or your current clients that you created amazing results for and see if they're willing to be a reference for you. And that's okay. Like I said, I used to feel really insecure about the references coming from past clients. So the prospective client would say, well, why don't you have any current clients? It doesn't matter, honestly. If they ask, you can say, well, I am not at a place with my current clients where I feel comfortable asking that yet, in time, but I want to be respectful of our new relationship. And, but I have other clients I have long-standing relationships with that I'd be happy to connect you with, who can speak about working with us for 5 years, 11 years, whatever it is. If you don't have any kind of good past results, be really candid. This is where new agency owners feel this huge wave of imposter syndrome come in. And they're like, I'm not legit. I've never done this. Who would hire me? Why would they hire me? So if you're no in that regard, be really candid about the fact that you're just getting started in PR or even in your specific niche. But explain that you have a lot of experience doing X, whatever that is. So a lot of times companies will hire based on personality. They will hire based on drive, creativity, attentiveness, responsiveness. You can put it in a way that is like, I have had experience doing XYZ and I'm extremely responsive. Like, I was a journalist. I was on the other side of the camera or on the other side of the pitch. And I know what moves the needle with pitches. And I'm happy to connect you with people from journalism that can speak to how creative, how responsive, that I'm a great writer, happy to share some writing samples with you. This is a pivot that I'm making. And I'm, coming in here looking to make a change, to leverage my valuable experience to provide PR services, earned media services from that perspective. Or based on the work that I've done, my skills are really transferable and a true asset to a team working on earned media on your behalf. So because I am new with this particular level of service, you may want to offer them a discounted rate and say something like, what I would love to offer you is a significantly discounted rate so you can see what I'm all about. You'll see how hard I'm working. You'll see our hustle. You'll see that we're really going to bat for you and we're creating momentum for you. And that will get you in the door where you can start to gain that experience, get those results and get a case study and a testimonial and a reference that you'll then leverage to build your business. And if you decide to go that route with a reduced retainer or a reduced rate to get your foot in the door, you need to offer it for a set period of time. So it's 3 months, or 6 months, whatever you want to do. Because if you don't set a time around it, they will think it goes on forever and you'll be working at this really low rate forever. You have to have a point in there where it's a reevaluation period. And you want to explain to them that the goal of this time period would be for them, the client, to get a sense of what it's like to work with you. And you'll tell this prospective client that you're really passionate about them, their mission, their brand, their founder, whatever it is that you feel this connection to. Like, I know this is the niche that I want to go down, and that client would be the first best stepping stone for me to really carve out my path in this niche. And the reason I'm so connected to it is because I love the founder story. I love the brand mission. I love the products. I'm a fan of the products. I use the products, whatever it is, really convey that. And you can let them know, I already have so many ideas percolating and I'm ready to hit the ground running. And so in 3 months, you're going to see, maybe the press hasn't started to roll in, but you'll see how proactive we are, how creative we are. And, they'll be excited. Like they'll feel like they tapped into an undiscovered hidden gem that you are, that they're getting you eager and early and hungry at a super reduced rate. Um, and they'll be the foundation that you build the rest of your business on. And I say this from experience. It's exactly how I started my business. First, I worked for free for a brand. And then when I was ready to like really go after a paid client, I offered them a reduced rate for 3 months and said, give me a chance. And then ended up working with that brand for 11 years, not at the reduced rate. I mean, it was pretty reduced over time, given that we grew so much and they were sort of incrementally growing, but it gets your foot in the door and you can be intentional about what client is stepping stone number one for you. Because if you're in the agency accelerator, it's all about strategically building a business based on your interests, based on a niche you love that you'll be excited about. I'm 17 years into running my agency. I still love baby and kids, beauty and cosmetics. Those are my two main niches, plus lifestyle. And I'm just grateful that I can get clients in those niches. So that can serve for you as stepping stone number one down the right path. And they'll see your passion and you're kind of positioning yourself as this hidden gem. So don't look at not having a reference or not even really having that experience yet as a negative. Try to position yourself as a positive. All of the experience you have up until now. I was just speaking with a new member of the Pitch Lab, pretty, I don't know if she's on right now, pretty like significantly. I'm waiting to see if she wrote me back. She did not. Aliza, if you're here, hi. And she came from a background in journalism and it's just such a great pivot. And your very first few clients are going to get that benefit of you as this kind of untapped, hidden gem kind of thing. So position it that way. Reduced retainer, 3 months. I'll hustle hard and we'll reevaluate, but you're going to love working with me. I promise you, you'll love it. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Right. So, that's a way to kind of go around that. And you're ready to hit the ground running. You have tons of ideas percolating. I'm so passionate about your mission, your message, your product, your brand, your founder story, whatever it is that you're like, that's awesome. I can run with that. There's a lot here. Tell them that. And they'll be like, okay, okay, we'll give you a chance, sure. Like, what's 3 months, at a reduced retainer? What's 3 months? And there you go. And just put a time frame around it. And then you also want to have a go-to response for whenever a prospective client asks for references. So you don't want to waver on it. You want to be really confident, not like, like you hadn't thought of it or like it's problematic for you. So just be ready. You might want to practice it if they're on the phone and they're asking you, but have that confidence so it'll put them at ease. Because if you're not prepared and you stumble, it's going to make them wonder why you're not confident. It's maybe because you just hadn't thought of it yet, but it could also be like, oh, well, I don't have any clients who've had any good experiences. So, that's obviously not the case. You just need to be prepared because the question will come up. So practice it. Practice saying it and practice believing it so you can come across as confident and capable when you're asked. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd love to connect you with some of our clients. How many references are you looking for? Is like two good, 2 to 3? Of course, I want to run it by them just to make sure they have availability to connect with you and ask their best way to connect with you. Would that be okay if I got back to you at the end of the day tomorrow when I hear back from everyone? Hopefully sooner. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm just going to contact them. And that also shows that when they become a client, you are going to treat them with a similar level of respect for their time and their schedule and their communication preferences. It's professional. So just be ready, like practice it and be like ready to go. And then you want to have that attitude also that not having references, it doesn't even matter. So, there's really something magnetic about someone who is super confident about themselves and their ability and excited about the opportunity. Founders are in their companies living, breathing, obsessing over every single thing they're doing every single day. And they want their outside contractors to be as passionate as possible about the work they're doing. They could have an SEO team who's just like, yeah, I have a formula, we're going to plug you in, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, that's like, whatever, it's a dime a dozen. When it's somebody who's communicating on your behalf and being your spokesperson, you want that person to have the level of excitement, enthusiasm, and confidence that, you would have if it were you out there speaking about your brand. You want to convey that. So these prospective clients, maybe if you're like telling them, listen, here's where I am and how it will benefit you, right? And you're super confident. You're going to believe in yourself, and that is going to come through in how you're speaking to clients, and it'll really give them a solid understanding of your value, and they're going to want to have you on their side. Okay, I promise, when you're confident, magnetic, and you are excited about them, they will be drawn to you. So that's how I would go about it, whether you have those references, you're confident asking or not. Be ready for the question, have some ready to go. If you work on these testimonials and case studies like we share inside of the Agency Accelerator, you're going to have some of those pieces in place. So you get asked and you're like, I got you, and just pass them along. And then I shared a resource here that is the exact step-by-step framework. So you can, either start, kick off, establish your own agency, and then grow it and scale it in a profitable and strategic way. So you're working with your ideal clients that you just love. I have this upcoming training series that I'm doing called the Path to Profitability training series. I think it's a 3-parter, I think. It has been in the past. It's really good, and everything builds on itself. And I will show you the entire framework for how you can grow and scale a profitable agency. Our current cohort is wrapping up the Agency Accelerator. We're recording the content live. Ricky is in there. Serena is in there. Guys, let me know what you're thinking. I mean, it's, we're delivering it in real time. So I love hearing the feedback on, it's a big time commitment for the live recording. But I hope that, the same people are showing up every week, and I know that they're feeling like reinvigorated and passionate about their businesses. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think? I can't believe it's ending. Well, we still have a couple weeks, I think. So let me just, week 11 is next Monday. Week 12 is the 9th. And then, we're going to wrap it up, but there's always our master classes. But Ricky, even Ricky, when I say even, it's because she's here. She was going through it in real time, implementing what she was learning in real time, right, Ricky? And you ended up taking the content we learned about sales calls and proposals and putting a proposal together and winning a client at a higher rate than you ever had asked for before. And she says, it has given me so much confidence. But what I love is that she's literally like learning, implementing, and seeing results in real time as she's going along. Is that true? I don't want to like put words in your mouth, but that's the sense that I got when you kind of shared with us what had happened when you went through a lesson, implemented it in developing your proposal and your, sales calls, and then landed a client. Yes? Am I making that up? I hope I'm not. But, or Serena, if you're still here. So true. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I mean, this is all like, this is like implementable real time stuff. And Ricky will own that content forever and can go back to it. So if she has another client, she can get on the content around sales calls and positioning in her proposal to really attract that client. This is what I am aiming to do, is just meet you wherever you are in each client's journey. So you're needing to do business dev because maybe a client left or the contract is up, or you just want to build your business and bring in bigger clients, leverage your results. Go back to strategy and reassess your goals, your client goals. I gotta get back to my handyman. Hold on, let me just text him. I have you guys. So Serena says, those calls make me love Mondays. Oh, and I love seeing you on there. Of course, you know that. I have told you how much I appreciate you being there. Hold on, I have to. Plus, the time goes by really fast. I think so too. It's crazy because I'm just like, let me just explain to you guys what I have going on right now. I will call you in, I don't know, we say 20 minutes? Ricky said, rewatch the onboarding class and the discovery call class multiple times, and I used the proposal to land a new client. Love it. It makes me so happy. I don't know if Kelly's here. Kelly, are you here? Kelly Bloomquist, not Kelly Didigu, but I got a really exciting DM from Kelly today about a mega, mega, mega client that she just landed. And she was like, anyway, I was like, oh my God, like it's insane. It's really, really cool. She's doing big stuff too. So just so you guys know the chaos that is my life, both of my kids were home with the flu and I made new friends. Yes, of course. Yeah. Oh my God. Ricky's always on smiling and it makes me so happy. I look up, I'm like, there's Ricky. It just makes me like, love a smiling face looking back at me. But okay. Both of my kids really sick over the weekend, 105 fever, my older son, confirmed flu, which is so odd because we all got the flu vaccine. Thank God it wasn't COVID. Home from school. I'm doing this huge plumbing project at my house where like my entire front of my house is dug up and all of the dirt from under the city street is in my garage in like a humongous pile. It looks like a little mountain in my garage. So we can't park in there. My husband can't charge his car. So he's like freaking out. I'm like, go to a public charging station. And he's like, ugh, public charging stations. Ugh. I don't know. He's being snooty about the whole thing. Anyway, so that's going on. And I have a rental property that was where I lived with my husband before we had kids and bought a house. And the tenants are moving out. So I went over there to be like, where do we need to paint? And the bathrooms are disgusting. I realized I redid them when I moved in 17 years ago. Big things happened 17 years ago. I started my agency, moved in with my husband, my boyfriend at the time. And I looked at those bathrooms and they're like disgusting. And I have 2 weeks to completely renovate 2 bathrooms. And paint the whole place and fix all the little broken stuff and change out the light fixtures because they're all broken, like glass is broken and stuff. So this is my life right now. Doing all of this, like huge construction at my house, huge construction about 3 miles away that if anybody's trying to do any construction right now, ordering parts and pieces and materials, everything's back ordered, everything's impossible to get. I specifically sourced all these materials that were in stock and starting to get the out of stock responses rolling in. Oh, it's going to ship later than we thought. A little stressful. And then, of course, the plumbing project, the 3 things they needed to complete it were not in place. And so now there's a huge hole sitting open in the front of my house, giant hazard, and a pile of dirt in my garage. And I have no idea when these guys are coming back. So never a dull moment, ever. And yeah, and we're also switching my son's psychiatrist, my son's occupational therapist. which anyone who has kids on the spectrum or with special needs, when you build your team, it's really hard to make switches, especially a kid on the spectrum is very rigid. Everything's like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. That's not where we go. We go here. We don't go there. And I'm like, okay, how do we find the right people and make all the changes and have it all work? So always chaos. And I was talking to someone yesterday and they were like, this is the mode you run in. You have one mode. This is it. So like, if you didn't have all this going on, how would you feel? I'm like, bored? I don't know. Yeah. So this is all going on. And of course, I have this like big, exciting announcement next week, which means all the stuff leading up to it to make it happen. And then the implementation. So it's hard, it's big on my team. And so we have Miranda to thank for the whole actual execution of this thing happening. So, and we're getting ready to launch the Agency Accelerator. So if you sign up for this link here, this Path to Profitability, if you're not already in that program, it's just a really good way to kind of learn the overview. And even if you don't join, which is totally fine, you're going to learn so much just even seeing that entire Path to Profitability framework, the 4 pillars, and then each of the elements. It's exactly how the program is broken down with 3 weeks of content in each pillar. I think it's so good. It's so clear. It just makes so much sense. And I am very proud of it. Anyway, so sign up for that. Even if you don't want to, make any other investment, there is so much value there. It's free and you will really, really love it. So that's the last, let me just put it again here. So anyway, that's what I have going on. Anybody else have any questions, design ideas? Does anyone want to see my mood board? I think I can show you a mood board. I think. Actually, I don't know. It depends how updated my software is. Mood board, maybe? I can. Let me see. Can I share? Oh, I can. Can you see that? I think. Yes. Anyway, that's the mood board. Wait, what does it say? Hold on. Can you hear me? Autumn. Maybe you can't hear me. I think you can see it. Anyway, I'm going to go back here. Can you hear me? And could you see that mood board? Cool. Okay, you could see it. Can you hear me? I'm assuming yes. So that's kind of the overall look for the bathrooms. They're so gross right now. Yes. Okay, cool. And all of that is just literally ordering things that happen to be in stock that will happen to arrive in the next few days. Oh my God, the amount of like phone calls and all the stuff I've had to make. But I think it's going to look so good. And I'm trying to be on a really tight budget. And I'm feeling very proud of myself. All of the materials I ordered for the downstairs bathroom, $2,500. And I have an amazing guy that helps me do all the construction, who's just a gem of a guy. And I'm so happy to give him more work because he's awesome. So, never a dull moment around here. Anybody have any questions about anything? I hope you'll join us in that Path to Profitability training series. We kick off soon. I don't know when exactly. And I will tell you guys also that we, or I should say I, and then we are in the process of bringing back a fully reimagined, full, high-level focused mastermind. Because I had a mastermind and it was all centered around the Agency Accelerator. And then I wanted to make that program more affordable because it was $10,000 with the coaching and everything. And I am being trained in a high-performance methodology, certified high-performance coaching and training that I'm adapting to our own 12-month mastermind. For the high level, you guys are looking to scale to multiple 6 figures or 7 figures, and you want it's not just like, what are you working on? What are your goals? I'm checking in. Have you made progress? It's not that. This is high level science and research backed methodology that is going to take your life, your, personal life, your business. And for me, it's all how they mesh together. And, relationships and finances and health and all of that to the next level, right? And so I am rebuilding our mastermind program. I ran it by a few of our members and they were like, sign me up ASAP. I'm hoping to have that sometime this summer, but let me know if that would be of interest to you. So it's, folks in our agency accelerator that are like running their businesses and they're just ready to take everything, life, life, business, family, love, wellness, finances, everything, all, based on your priorities. Like, not what I tell you you should prioritize, but you decide. And then we give you the strategies for how to really, make all of those things happen for you. I'm so excited. Let me know if that would be of interest to you. It's going to be a high level mastermind, small group, 12-month program. And I, with the goal being absolute transformation, yeah, steps and whatnot for like true transformation in your life. Okay, that's what I have. So on top of just, designing a couple bathrooms and dealing with a huge hole in my street, I'm going to be doing high level training and certification to bring you even more value. So, all right, guys, look out for my announcement next week. And I'm trying to put it in a way where I really show you how that change happening in my business will have an impact on you and your business. We're always looking for ways to add more value in your life. So, yeah, I will see you guys real soon. Looking forward to next week. I'm excited to share the big news, and I will catch you guys all soon. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.